Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7, and today we're going to go over the patch notes. As always, have not read these, but I'm 99% sure we know exactly what's coming, and that is going to be Lucy's route for Valentine's, also Eda, also Eda's side story, also Violet in the Epic Pass. But maybe they'll surprise us. Let's take a look. Please note for that this week, no maintenance. That's awesome. So that means I will have a pull video out for Eda about 15 minutes after she rolls over. Hopefully we get her quick, although I have so many bookmarks. I've got like 1,600 bookmarks now. Like, it just doesn't matter at this point. But I hope I get her quick, and then I can maybe get some imprints later on for a collab unit that comes if I happen to really like them. By the way, just as a side note, how are your thoughts of the couple things in the comments down there while you're hitting that like button and the bell notification? Did you know that only like 48% of you have or are subscribed that watch videos? That's kind of weird to me. What are the other 52% of you doing? Anyway, what was I saying again? I want to know in the comments what your thoughts are of the current setup for the Valentine side story and what you think of the new expedition and all those changes there. I'll have a video coming out in the next couple days showing you what I got over a full month in terms of the expedition redemption thingy, and we'll take a look at it together. Anyway, let's get into this here. First off, the Youthful Spring 2021 pass. As always, these are definitely worth getting. The premium rewards for sure, unless they change it, but they haven't really changed anything like that recently. I buy the skin as well for the extra 800 just because look at that flipping skin. It is amazing. So yeah, you just buy it and then do stuff and you get your shenanigans there. They go through everything here. Interesting. Yeah, everything. Even if I read all these, I have no idea if it's the same as last time, but I do see 3 gold transmit stones. That's fantastic. I love this skin. I think this is one of my favorite skins they've ever added. Just the fact that the sword matches the everything is just it's just insane. I love it so much. So we have Lucy's 7 Sweethearts. This is Lucy's side, and cool. This goes until next week, I believe. So the final week of Valentine's ends on the 18th-ish of March. Also, as a side note, next week is when when the real-time arena ends. So be sure you're in Masters there for the skin if that's something you're going to do. So week 3 event currency. Oof, yeah, there's not going to be anything else here, but we'll talk about Eda. We will talk about Eda because that's something I want to talk about. I did build Lucy. She wasn't worth it. She tried her best. She was adorable. She threw some paper, and that was about it. So cool. There. Okay, there. I don't want to read all that. It's showing you like Twisted Fangs and Ultra Fangs and Blazing Souls. Like, let's go. Okay, so we are going to let's watch this together again.
Curse me. The icy touch of death shall embrace you.
I can't say enough how much I love that voice. What's her name there? What's her name? Anne something, I think. Absolutely amazing VA. Did an amazing job. I can't wait to see what other voice line she has. Perfect color combination for me. This is my jam for sure. I am super excited. A stranger to happiness, she prefers the relief of misfortune. Whew. A half-elf who made a name for herself as a high wizard in Lefundos long ago. She disappeared without a trace after causing a massive explosion in a war. So let me see what they say about her. Eda is an ice elemental mage who is capable of manipulating the enemy's turns and generating additional effects when a crit occurs. Absolute Zero has the possibility to stun all enemies. Additionally, she can increase the CR of all allies according to the number of critical hits landed. Cold Snap dispels a buff from the enemy and decreases CR by a random set amount. A critical hit will further decrease the CR of the enemy. Azeta creates additional effects when she has a crit, providing her equipment that increases her crit will allow you... Okay, I was hoping they'd like give us some insight, but no. Okay, so let's go over the skill set again. Starting with her first skill 1 here. Not a massive fan of this. I've never been a fan of Unhealable, especially in this game. I found it to be pretty good in other games. Specifically Summoner's War, for example. It was actually really good debuff there, and it was really, 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 really useful, but I haven't really found a use for it here. I'm not sure why, but it just doesn't seem to do its job when I need it to do its job, and so many people heal and remove it, and then it doesn't do anything. Story short, having 75% effect chance to Unhealable for a single turn is not exactly the best skill 1, is what I'm trying to get at here. So that's not going to be what you fall back on her for. Luckily, she has another skill, which is, let's look at Cold Snap. First, attacks all enemies with an explosion of ice, dispelling 1 buff before decreasing combat readiness. So this will dispel their immunity first and then decrease combat readiness by a random amount between 5 and 20%. A critical hit will decrease the combat readiness by an additional 10%. So I've seen a lot of people say it's stupid that she decreases it by a random amount, but I just want to say that while just doing 20% is probably better, the point of this is just pure disruption. It may completely change the ordering of the enemy team. So for example, if their team has a Lilius and an Arbiter Vildred after, for example, so the idea is their Arbiter Vildred their Lilius wants to remove debuff so the Arbiter Vildred can do its thing. Imagine if the turn order is messed up. The RB gets 5% reduction and the Lilius gets 20% reduction, causing the Arbiter to go first and do nothing, and then Lilius to kind of waste her turn as well. That's kind of the idea behind putting the randomness on this ability here. So cool ability, combat readiness decrease, dispelling 1 buff is pretty sweet too, I guess. And the cool part about this is it's a 3-turn cooldown when it's Mulagorod, and you can skill cooldown decrease it with a soul burn for an additional 2 turns for only 10 souls. This is massive. This is the part that's really gonna make her shine in both RTA, surprise, RTA unit, and probably Guild War offense, maybe Arena offense, but probably Guild War offense specifically for somebody like me. I'm gonna find good use for something like this, I think. And the cool part is she can hold her own tome if it comes to it. So Absolute Zero here attacks all enemies with a 60% chance to stun. This goes up to 85% chance for 1 turn. That's massive. 85% chance, 15% chance for it not to happen, and then 15% get wrecked by 15%, of course. And the CR is up by 5% according to the number of crits made. So in Guild War, you'll go up 15%. In RTA, you'll go up 20%, maybe 5 less on each one if there's element disadvantage there as well. So pretty cool, pretty cool set. There's a couple things to note here. The first thing is it's going to be hard to open up with a skill 3, the Absolute Zero, and that's because there's going to be so many immunities. So you've probably, if you're going to be using her as your opener, you're probably going to hit immunity too much, so you'll need to dispel first. Odds are you're going to start with your Cold Snap first. This helps you kind of prioritize your first turn and get that going. And then after a round of combat, you're going in with a stun, is my guess. And then the next turn, you can pop a Cold Snap again and just take complete control of the game. Overall, should you pull? It's tough. Keep in mind, we have a GG collab coming up next month. We don't know if there's a new unit. I would say there's a good chance there's not, just because I feel like they would have mentioned it right now, considering how angry people are about collabs when they mentioned it. But there might be Eno or Ram Lethal or maybe somebody else in the GG universe. And on top of that, after that, the month after is going to be a new collab. So you have a ton of bookmarks to be saving. And I think I think for us veterans, there's been so many reruns lately that we can pretty safely summon on this banner, but I'm not sure on like newer players. So if you're a newer player, if you're really skimping along with your bookmarks, maybe give it a week to see, you know, how she's turning out, if she fits your playstyle. Like if you're a PvE player, actually say if you're a PvE player, maybe you don't want to pick her up, but she actually has a pretty fantastic PvE kit as well. Having Unhealable is actually pretty decent for PvE. PR is still good. Dispel is still good in PvE. Chance to Stun is sometimes good depending on it, so she has potential, but mostly a PvP unit. As for Artifact, I'm not sure what to think about this one either. 10% critical hit rate, probably going up to 7.5% for most of us at plus 15. And effectiveness probably 22.5 or something like that at plus 15. You can't really look at the max like I always say, because not many people are going to have a plus 30 Twilight Calamity. So overall, decent artifact. I kind of like this artifact. You know, this kind of stabilizes your crit rate on a lot of your units and gives you some effectiveness. This isn't bad, but the problem is it's a mage artifact. So you're comparing this to Tagael's Tome, you're comparing this to I always forget the names. I know exactly which one I'm thinking of. Abyssal Crown and Ayala Violin. There we go. There's so many insane mage artifacts, so it's probably not going to be used outside of niche cases. Her side story as well. By the way, get ready. I mean, I'm sure you're already all the way into it, but your stamina is gone. We have all of the Valentine's side events. We have this side event. We have Guilty Gear, which is known for stealing your stamina, and then another collab basically almost right after, probably with another side story right before it. So holy bejesus, I am out of stamina again, just completely out of stamina. It's to the point where I'm debating just not really doing side stories for all the stuff in the store. Like I'll grab the Molagora and maybe a couple other things, and that's about it. I know I'll regret not grabbing the Catalyst for later, but I just don't have the stamina if I want to farm like the new expeditions and stuff as well. Oof, new skins, so tasty. And Violet Talisman. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Not too much new information. We've already talked about this. Maybe I went a little bit more in depth on Edda. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always. Hit the bell notification. Do all those stupid YouTube shenanigans, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody.